Wow. I think I may be in the wrong review right now. I believe. This is supposed to be Raw, right? Or am I still in Hell in a Cell? I don't know, man. Everything is very, very red right now. Lots and lots of red. Where's all this red coming from? Other than maybe the screen on my computer, I may look a little bit brighter, but everything's like all in red. So what review am I in? Am I in my a Raw review or am I in the Hell in a Cell review right now? Because after that god awful match last night and ending, we might as well do this whole review in red. Nah, I'm not gonna make everyone's eyes very glaring for me to see or hard to see because I could just look like a giant red beat then, but with my computer screen being a little bit light, it probably will change the atmosphere of some things in some way. But we're not gonna do that. So Alexa, I say lights white.
Okay.
Okay, that is better. A little bit too bright, but I think we are. Alexa, dim the lights.
Okay.
Nah. Alexa, lights white. Maximum.
I don't know how to set all hue lights to that setting.
Okay, Alexa, lights white.
Okay.
Okay, I think this is a better lighting right here. This isn't too bright and nothing too dark. I think this can work in my opinion. So let's see where this lighting goes. But Monday Night Raw. Honestly, what was really happening on this show tonight, if you ask me, because what do I have? If there's one word I can say about this show tonight is autopilot. That's what this show really felt like tonight. Autopilot. And honestly, they did not really want to mention mostly anything to do with Hell in a Cell last night. Because where were they from? Bakersfield, I think. Yeah, Bakersfield, California. And I really wasn't really mentioned that much tonight about Bakersfield, but it looked like they wanted to stay as far away from Hell in a Cell as possible. But one thing you want to know about more about Hell in a Cell, you could check out my Hell in a Cell review I did last night, which is up. I had a lot to say about how bad that show was last night, so please check it out, the review of it. But where do we begin with this Monday Night Raw? Because as the draft, I guess, looms upon Monday Night Raw, what is really to even speak on this show? Because it almost felt like it was a lot of nothing going on tonight. And people wondered how would they even talk about Hell in a Cell, especially the Wyatt and Seth match after it was pretty much that horrible ending and fans booing it out the building and chanting several things, making both Seth and Bray look bad. I don't know really who to blame at this point. Vince Heyman, the idiots in creative that know shit. I know I said Wyatt at one point, but I don't even know he would have that much creative control to make the lights all red. I don't know. But it's a lot to people to blame in that for that match that went on. Mostly a lot of this pay-per-view, since a lot of those matches were announced at the last minute and only 3 were advertised. But where do we begin? You know what? We're not even going to begin with the Hell in a Cell. No recap video that much. Well, they had a little bit of a no recap video. No recap video of all of Hell in a Cell last night. And usually you would talk about a pay-per-view that happened last night. What do they talk about first? They talk about Seth and Rusev. Well, mostly Rusev because of the whole Bobby Lashley and Lana thing last week. So as the show even came on in theme air, we got no commentary, but already in the ring, Randy Orton and Baron Corbin were pretty much beating the crap out of Rusev. Rusev was able to get them off of him, but what happens next? Bobby Lashley shows up on screen. And I'm sure a lot of people thinking right now, this is how you start the show. This makes people want to turn the channel. He shows up on the screen. He's in a robe. And pretty much that says, oh, this your robe, right? Huh? That's why I'm comfortable right now. Oh, this your bed, right? This your house, right? This your room, right? This your bedroom, right? Looks nice in here. Pretty much he took off the robe. He climbed into the bed. There's only one thing that's missing. So, Lana comes in, and Rusev looks like he's missing a lot nowadays. Lana came on with a robe. She had lingerie on. I guess they had this music came in. Listen, I don't know if Brazzers helped them with this segment, because I heard they said something on Twitter last night. Even they had to say you want cohesive storylines with a good finish come to them. So maybe they took their advice. I'm not sure, because hey, they're the ones that know how to make porn. So it's probably better than what WWE is trying to do, step into that world. But pretty much the music played. She took off the jacket. She climbed into bed with him, pretty much saying that, now everything that, we got no more joint checking accounts anymore. That everything Rusev had now belongs to her. So, we're just going to have some fun. And pretty much she was taking her top off, and Lashley turned off the lights. So, pretty much Rusev has now been kicked out of his own home, and I don't know what type of divorce this is, but I guess now she's living her best life. And that little Duval song comes to play with that living my best life thing. But Rusev pretty much, once again, he stands there, he looks like a cuck. Pretty much someone is fucking his wife, or maybe it is still his wife. Which, by the way, when they even did the video package, they even took clips from, I think, Total Divas to even play into this. I have no idea where any of this is going anymore. I don't know how you start to show off with this, because now I'm wondering, am I watching wrestling, or am I about to watch porn right now? I'm really wondering that, because listen, I already heard the Pornhub jokes and Black.com jokes last week, so I already know about that. But it almost reminds me when they had that thing with Enzo and Lana at one point, where he went to the hotel room and looked like he was getting ready to hit that. The only thing difference is that Lashley most likely accomplished in hitting that. So it looked like it was setting up for that. Like, hey, this your wife? That's her, right? It looked like he wasn't laying it down right. So I'm going to hit that, as everyone would say. The BBC. So that's what the joke is right here, people. And then what do they do next right after? Rusev pretty much looked around. Orton and Corbin are laughing. Rusev is pissed off, all mean, goes after both of them, tosses Corbin and, Orton into the steel steps and into the, hits a fallaway slam on Orton to the barricade, pretty much grabbing Orton's head. So, are you laughing at me? Are you laughing at me? Pretty much drop kicks both of them, to the other side of the barricade. Hits them both with a Machka kick, as he's pretty much pissed off, then going to the back. So, yes, this is how you start off Raw. Not talking about the pay-per-view, but we're going to talk about this Rusev, Bobby Lashley, and Lana thing. Honestly, like I said last week, I had a good time laughing at it, but at the same time, it makes literally no freaking sense. And I'm like everybody else, and I've said this many times before, I wish Lashley never left Impact. I really wish he didn't. And you already heard I'd say he could have been the one to attack the Mysterios last week, and he would look like a killer. Listen, when Bobby Lashley was in Impact Wrestling, the man was a beast. The man was a main event player. The man was a freaking killer out there and a dominant world champion. Honestly, ever since WWE brought him back, like I said last week, ever since they brought him back to WWE, they just cannot get it right. And it's like people say, Impact gave you, they saw on video, they gave you the blueprint on what to do with Lashley to make him a star. But they have no idea. You should have just did the Lesnar and Lashley match, or you could have came up with something better. All I've seen most of the time with Bobby Lashley is just crap they're giving him, from the Sami Zayn feud to Lio Rush to an extent. Him doing these Lex Luger poses and I don't know, Lex Luger poses. I'm trying to see all stuff Lashley has done. Just have his meat wad midget. I don't know, not midget, but manager, Lio Rush with him, and I don't know, man. I like Bobby Lashley. I know people try to crap on him, but this guy was the man in TNA. Okay, he really was, and the guy could even talk. Lashley ain't even that great on the microphone, but he proved he had the confidence over there to prove he can cut a great promo in Impact. I don't know what they're going on with here. I don't know what's going on with this. It's just a strange way to, kick off the show in general. Honestly, it really is. It is a strange way, but they want to try to get this over one way or another. I don't know how far this is going to go, but yeah, overall, Rusev is just cucking this, but I don't know. People say Heyman wrote this. It's like ECW era. I don't know how sure or true that is, but that's what I've read, or Vince or whoever approved of all of this. What are we going to next? A match what I said get the strap for last night in my review. Natalya versus Lacey Evans in a last woman standing match. We had Lacey Evans coming back from commercial, pretty much having a trash can right by her, saying that she was going to take out the trash and it's going to be the last lady standing. What do I have to say about this last woman standing match? Number one, it was very long. Natalya took a beating. I will say that throughout half the match. Did they use a lot of weapons to try to make this thing good? Yes, they did on some points, because even Natalya had a sharpshooter, but it was not going to work because it had to be a last woman standing. Evans did slam Natalya pretty much to the mat for a 9 count, which you could see Natalya down for a lot of 9 counts, by the way. But as they fought to the outside of the ring, then Lacey had a kendo stick and started beating her with it. She even sat down until she got up at number 9 and threw her into the what was it, she put her in the chair and everything, and then had to kick Natalya all out of the office chair or whatever, which she still got back up at 9, by the way. But which I thought was odd that Lacey got up and threw the kendo stick somewhere after you just used it, but you could have used it on her again, but that didn't make a lot of sense to me. Natalya did hit a monkey flip then on her on using the kendo stick, which she was able to kind of get back after. Getting back out at number 9, Lacey Evans again. They pretty much fought around. Natalya got up at 9 again. Lacey Evans threw a trash can at her, which trash actually fell out of the can. They a lot of garbage and stuff, but they fought all the way up to the ramp. Evans pretty much suplexed Natalya on all the way up to the ramp, which basically the stage, the skateboard ramp, which is like a half. It's basically a half pipe. And come on, Natalya, you saw Natalya slide. She slid, okay? She freaking slid down the sorry, I need some water there, but she slid down the freaking ramp, okay? She slid. So this is basically a skateboard ramp stage, like I said before, if you can, slide down it and stuff. So a lot of sliding and everything. But Natalya was able to get back up at 9 again. She was down for a lot of those 9s. Evans tossed into the announce table then, and pretty much she suplexed Natalya on the broadcast table, the announce table and stuff. Natalya gets up at 9 again. Natalya pretty much had put her into a power bomb and power bombed her off the stage onto some tables, finally winning the match. So Natalya won this from here. This wasn't 50-50 booking, I guess, again. Did the women have a lot of time in this match? Yes, they did. Did I honestly really care coming into this match? Not honestly. I said it last night before. Get the motherfucking strap, okay? That's my opinion. Get the strap. But does Natalya get a push from this? I don't know. I don't know where any of these two go from this. They had it, okay? They had the match. That's basically all I can tell you from that. They also, they must promote the scam known as Susan G. Komen. You already know my opinions on that. I've said this almost every October or any other video I do, but like people said, that whole thing is a freaking scam. The Susan G. Komen scam. So, there you go. It's a scam, okay? But what happened else after they did this, the scam? Oh, a person you don't expect to see back on TV again. But yes, who do we see again? Someone who allegedly still live on this show, Aleister Black. And where's Aleister Black again? He's not on SmackDown this time. So what is he doing again? He's sitting somewhere in the boiler room. Because, by God, he's disappeared for I don't know how long back on TV. So now we're back to him. What is he doing again on SmackDown? I'm sorry, not SmackDown, on Raw. He's sitting in a dark room, in some boiler room or some hotel room, in a black suit, wondering once again, talking about unforgiving fire. He's talking about Showcase. But once again, we're back to the whole drawing board again. who is gonna come to my door and pick a fight with me? So somewhere, Aleister Black is trapped in some boiler room closet in a black suit, which he looks like he's been sitting there for weeks. So we now know what he's doing in his time. Okay, so this is Aleister Black for you. He is trapped in a closet or boiler room or I don't know, some secret underground base. But what has come to this? You know, this may come to my mind when I see Aleister Black still trapped. And honestly, if you start hating on me right about this song, fuck you, because I don't care about whatever's going on with that thing right now, because I ain't with it. But, no, it's a song that come to this. And I'm just to have some fun with it. You see, Aleister Black is sitting in the room, and he's sitting in the closet. I don't know how to do this, but I'm thinking, can I sing? I'm trying to come up with a rhyme that doesn't bling. But he's sitting right there, and he's looking for a fight. I don't know what he's doing right now, but he's sitting alone at night. I'm flying high around the birds. I got myself a kite. I come right here to sit. Why doesn't no one come to this door? He tries to pick a fight, but he's out like a light. And man, I may just pull out my Beretta. I don't know, I'm just having some fun, so it's a parody. And I may come back again and do this song again one day. Maybe next week on Friday if he's still trapped there today. So I'm getting nervous and I've done this review. But I'm done. Okay, I just had my little fun from that. Okay, I just wanted to do that. I found that funny to me. You don't like it? Fuck you. Okay, so there you go. You know, I would have pulled out my Beretta too, but it's not on me right now, but that's a joke right there. But yeah, Aleister Black, he's still sitting in that dark room somewhere he can't get out. Where do we go to next? Street Profits, who once again talked about on the cell a little bit last night, but then they got to talk about the draft. You know, talk about Apollo Crews is a blue chipper, and you know, Buddy Murphy is the best kept secret. He must be the best kept secret again, because I haven't seen the guy around on TV since the freaking King of the Ring, and he fell off the earth after this whole Roman storyline, in which they were finished with him right after. So what happened to Buddy Murphy today, huh? And then they talk about Rockstar Spud there, which they call him a 40-year-old virgin and everything. Why hasn't he consummate the marriage? Dawkins says, listen, man, he would have been done it, okay? He'd be doing it right now, all right? Because if he knew what was going on, he would have been doing this already. So they pretty much make fun of Spud, pretty much like you still haven't banged your wife yet. So that's on you, dude. But they talked about Tyson Fury was in the building for this whole Strowman match. So yeah, Street Profits, they got to do their little hype machine thing. Honestly, I don't even know if they're even going to wrestle on Raw at this point. They lost to Undisputed Era last Wednesday on NXT. Why are they, I don't get it. Why are they even still just, I don't even know Street Profits anymore, what they do at this point. But they then went to Tyson Fury in the back. Pretty much, he talked about Strowman, that he wanted an apology. He was invited to Raw tonight, and he was going to apologize. He wanted that apology from Strowman tonight. War Raiders versus Rude and Ziggler in a non-title match. Why? This match went on a while. Listen, this was solid, but nobody didn't really care about this match, honestly. It ended up with the Viking Raiders winning. It wasn't really a bad match. It's just no one cared. Okay? They just don't care for any of these things. I don't think people take Rude and Ziggler seriously as a team. The War Raiders, Viking, whatever you're calling them, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong, they have wins under their belt, but honestly, to get crickets half the time in these matches, I'm just glad they're not facing the OC again, because I just would have been more annoyed with that. But I don't know, but it's just they don't care, all right? And, you know, somebody said notice tonight that they have not mentioned Seth Rollins or Bray Wyatt tonight, especially early in the show after the crowd reaction last night. And let me remind also that none of these two were on TV tonight either, so maybe we'll hear from them on SmackDown when it comes to the draft this Friday. But what next thing, the Singh brothers, which I don't watch 205 Live, so I swear to God, I did not know what they were doing on there. And I guess they have this Bollywood gimmick going on, I guess. So like I said, award, and then what happens? Aleister Black comes out because he did say he's someone he was gonna go pick a fight himself. This was just a handicap match. I guess they said it was a showcase according to commentary, because commentary looks like they've been on autopilot all night about if network is making all the choices and people deciding to draft, or some people say they let their channel out of a 2K video game because they sound a lot a bit bored throughout these matches. Listen, Black killed the Scene Brothers, a black mass on one of them, and the other one was like a dragon sleeper, it looked like. So Aleister Black won. I don't care. I wish you had him in a more meaningful match, but I don't even know what show to put him on. He was on SmackDown, but he was just sitting around. So we'll see where Aleister Black goes. Other than, because honestly, even if he is drafted, he'll probably be sitting somewhere in some boiler room next week for somebody to come to his door and pick a fight with him. You know, my pumpkin would like to pick a fight with him too. I brought a pumpkin one time on one of these reviews. You know, when he yelled for a fight, the pumpkin was gonna fight him. He was ready, man. He was ready to square off with Aleister Black there. But moving on from that, what else did they play? Strowman, I guess he's talking about he was having a little fun at ringside, and you know he doesn't know why. You know, Fury's all mad, and you know he said Fury throws a mean punch, but he does too, and he did that last night to AJ Styles. Pretty much, you know, he gave his apology, but he might get these hands anyways. They played what happened with Brock Lesnar and Kofi Kingston, and the whole Cain Velasquez thing. They interviewed Rey Mysterio next, as he had his left arm in a sling, as he thanked the wrestlers and everyone, fans, for support. He talked about his son, you know, getting beat up, but he took the beating like a man, and he's resting up right now in the hospital. But he talked about how Lesnar just beat him, and Rey couldn't do anything because he was so beat up, and he felt like he left his son and his family down. But while he was in the hospital with Dominic, his godfather, I don't know how true that is, but kayfabe, Velasquez showed up, and pretty much he was going to avenge his son and Rey Cain Velasquez. And that, you know, Rey mentioned, of course, that Velasquez has beaten Brock in UFC before, so he is going to be the one to avenge his family. So at least it gives a reason in this whole thing to why Rey Mysterio's with Cain Velasquez right now. I know it doesn't make sense all the way, but he is in like I said, he is in dispute, and they give you a reason for this, okay? But they played another AOP video. That was pretty good. Pretty much they have a killer instinct. The OC, once again, going into another 205 team. The Lucha House Party. I honestly don't care. The only thing the crowd cared about during this match was chanting AJ Styles. That's all they really cared about. Wasn't really that bad, but I'm surprised this was even a match for this, or because I'm surprised they were even on TV in general. But they have really nothing going on this Raw tonight, so we'll just throw 205 guys on here for the crap of it. Listen, AJ hit a phenomenal forearm on Kalisto for the win, but then they beat up the Lucha House Party right after. Styles hit a Styles Clash on Dorado from the middle rope, and then they all too sweeted each other. Okay. They talked about Becky and Charlotte, as it was time for Miz TV. Lawler said at one point, Miz may be the number one draft pick in what planet and universe. Of course, Miz had a suit. He talked about celebrities like The Rock and Cain Velasquez and Tyson Fury showing up on SmackDown. But then it was time to introduce Becky and Charlotte. Pretty much Becky said hello to Bakersfield. Fans chanted for Becky. Charlotte came out then. She had a woo. Miz pretty much talked about all the accomplishments she's had. And you be on the cover of WWE 2K20 and having on the cover of a golden Chris cereal box. And everything is great. But she says she beat Sasha Banks and beat her all the way to hell. But she was able to come out of it. But she said, if Banks was still present, she got her ass kicked by the man. Miz pretty much went through Charlotte's accomplishments, so that she is a 10-time women's champion. Charlotte said it's good to be queen. And then she said that, the draft pretty much, it can change your careers and everything. You guys could be on the same brand, and because you're the two most dominant women in all WWE. But Flair's like, you could just say dominant, right? And his thing I don't get. Why would they be on the same brand during the draft? Honestly, Becky would be on Raw because Becky is the Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte be on SmackDown because Charlotte is the SmackDown Women's Champion. So honestly, you don't even need to draft both of these two because they already hold the titles to both shows. So basically, Becky is automatically on Raw and Charlotte is automatically on SmackDown. So what are you trying to do? It's not like you're going to unify the titles or nothing or anything. So why would they be on the same show? They're automatically drafted to Raw and SmackDown at this point, so there'd be no reason in picking them. Charlotte's on SmackDown. She has a SmackDown title. It's the SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky has the Raw title. It's the Raw Women's Champion. So where are you trying to play on this? Makes no sense. I don't see where you're going with this. The Kabuki Warriors came out. Asuka and Kairi. That name is horrible. Everybody keeps saying this is a showcase match. And everything. Because Becky at one point, they were talking still. I think I'm a little fast on this. But, one thing Becky did mention that Asuka did beat her the first time they faced and everything. We haven't crossed paths lately, so she wants to correct that. At least that's good continuity in the story in a way, taking something from before and talking about it again. Because you remember at the Royal Rumble, Asuka did beat Becky for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Charlotte pretty much said, it's always the, she's the professional and everything. Pretty much Becky said that, I made that belt famous. And I made you famous, Charlotte said. And then pretty much Becky said that, I was Becky 2 belts once. You were Becky, you've been 2 belts once. But I'm 10 times champion. Well, at least you may have plentiful title reign, but at least mine is meaningful. And then Charlotte pretty much says, yeah, but I'm still 10-time champion. So they had some back and forth lines with each other. Kairi and Asuka came out. They spoke in Japanese. I had no idea what they said. I'm sure it was about Charlotte and Becky. I don't know why they had Lawler try to say my sentiment exactly, or he's talking about you, Graves. So I don't know why you had him, not Graves, but Joseph Vick or whatever. I don't even know why they had Lawler talk through this, but I don't know. I don't know what Asuka and Kairi said. They spoke in Japanese. Becky and them pretty much says, all right, just come to the ring. We'll do this right now. Well, was it Paige, their manager or something? Like the interpreter to this whole thing? So what happened to her? And then again, by the way, they got the what treatment out there too, because nobody could not understand any of these two were saying. So why did you give them promo time? I don't understand that in a way, because we know they're not that good in English, even though Asuka has spoken English before on here, but I guess they just have him speak Japanese in a promo. I don't know why, but that's what they did. So I don't know. They brawled in. Becky and Charlotte got the upper hand at one point. The match happened, which wasn't bad, and I'm sure a lot of people really thought Asuka and Kairi were about to lose, because that's what it felt like losing to, and mostly because you got to win by default with Becky and Charlotte, but pretty much Charlotte knocked Asuka out the ring. I heard Charlotte's leg was hurt. The referee checked on Charlotte. Asuka came back, spit the green mist into Becky Lynch's face. Kairi saying pinned her. The referee didn't see it. So it is surprising that Charlotte and Becky actually lost and Kairi and Asuka got the pin. Charlotte started then brawling with both Asuka and Kairi, but I guess Nikki and Bliss came out for the same. So who is the heel here again? So are Asuka and are Asuka and Kairi saying the heels? Like where is this going? Because I don't see Bliss as a face just in general. Because fuck her, that's why. And Nikki Cross, I don't know, but the crowd cheered. So I don't get who's the face here. Who is the face and who is the heel? I don't understand. But Bliss and Nikki Cross pretty much knocked Asuka and Kairi out the ring. I guess coming back they want a rematch for their tag titles. So I don't know, man. I've said it before, man. I really don't care about these tag belts in general. I just said kill the belts at this point. But I don't know where this is going. Maybe Asuka and Kairi are a heel. I don't know. I honestly don't know. They finally played the the Wyatt and Seth Rollins thing, which was smart in a way because they played it. I know I'm a little bit early. They still hyped it. I should have mentioned also before that what they tried Caruso talked to Apollo Crews, surprisingly at mic time on here, told me he had something to show or something. The show say because they talk about the hot start on Raw, which I don't know how hot that was, but pretty much he was in a match with Ricochet tonight, and they go way back. And, they're going to be in the ring, but, he's got to prove himself tonight. This is a showcase match. The War Raiders pretty much said that they are going to be having a title shot next week against Rude and Ziggler. So, what was the point of this match tonight if they're going to get a title shot next week? Could have just had the title shot tonight. They could have even beat someone to become the number one contender, but they had to beat the champions to become the number one contender. Ricochet, I just think the guy can't talk. Talked about what he did on Friday. Well, talked about he could be moving to SmackDown, so it could be his last match on Raw. It's nothing personal against Crews, but he's got to prove himself also out there too. Ricochet went against Apollo Crews. This was not much of a match. Why would you do this late in the freaking show? Which wasn't actually that bad of a match for the 4 minutes it was given, but still, why this match? Why? I don't know why. But Ricochet won, recoil, weak. I don't know. This match didn't even really need to be on there. But then, they talked about the Seth and Brave match. All they really showed was mostly from the ending, from Seth overkilling Wyatt, and then, the sledgehammer, and then the referee disqualifying, and the red lights, and, what else? The red lights and what happened after. They didn't really want to mention anything. Obviously, in a way, it was smart, because if you brought any of these two out there tonight, Seth probably would have been booed out of the building. That's probably why they didn't want to risk it or anything. So that's why they was like, okay, we know it sucked last night, so we'll play it so late in the show that it's so subtle that nobody won't wonder it. So we'll play it near the last 20-30 minutes of the show tonight instead of showing it at the beginning, because they know how bad this was. So they didn't really want to talk about this. It looked like they were just trying to not erase everyone's mind, but it's like, we'll talk about this little as possible so we don't piss anyone else like we pissed them all off last night of how god-awful it was. But next thing you know, Jerry Lawler was in the ring. He brought out Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, as he was in Bakersfield. And, talk about what happened on SmackDown and everything. And Fury said, he ended up, getting choked out on, and stuff. What happened at the security and everything. So, he did want an apology tonight from Braun Strowman. Fans trying to get these hands. Strowman says, I'm not messing around or anything, and, happened on SmackDown, I was just playing, but that's your fault, you got dragged by security and whatever. But, Fury pretty much, I would have gotten in the ring and knocked you out pretty much. And Strowman says, yeah, at least we would have to wait for the 10 count and everything. Like, you lost that fight to Deontay Wilder. And listen, I've been the heavyweight champion of the world. How many heavyweight titles have you won? Good sick burn, if you ask me, on Strowman. Pretty much then they had a stare down, and then they start brawling with each other at one point. All the security guys came in and started breaking them back until Fury started fighting the security guards, which looked really bad. It honestly did. Those punches looked bad. Like he was trying to connect them, but they just did not connect. Some people say it was Shane McMahon level of punching, of just how he's hitting the security guards, and then Strowman's hitting them then. But the next thing you know, they bring the job guy, the jobber locker room out there, the 24/7 chasers, to come out and break both of these guys up. As they were able to hold them back, they actually went to Strowman in the back then. Who pretty much were talking to Caruso before the show ended. And listen, Fury's a tough son of a bitch, okay? But he's going to get these hands before this is all over and done with. Listen, and Caruso, are you going to apologize? No, I'm not going to apologize after that. Strowman pretty much, he came into my house and disrespected me, so now I'm going to come back and I'm give it to him. So pretty much Strowman came back out there again. Him and Fury brawled with each other, and that's how the show ended. Is this match at the Crown Jewel? Because I don't know what other pay-per-view this match could be at. Because this is the only other reason why they're building this up right now. You're not putting this on Raw. You're not putting this on SmackDown. I have no idea what the other next pay-per-view is. But honestly, they're going to have to start pushing this freaking Crown Jewel, which they're already doing. Because most likely we probably get Velasquez and Brock on that show. We got that Team Hogan versus Team Flair thing. So the chips are already getting stacked for this whole thing when you look at it, okay? that's all I can say. Do I really want to see this match? No, I don't. I don't care. This is just a way for Fox and ESPN or whatever the fuck Saudi Arabia wants over there, because they probably just want any big star they can find now, even from the MMA and boxing world too. Overall, this show just, it was on autopilot. It's like nothing really happened. They didn't really talk about Hell in a Cell that much. They had nothing to talk. It's like they were just waiting until the draft this Friday. That's all they were doing. It was like, we'll just have a show just because, but we're not really gonna do that much with it. We didn't want to mention anything that had to do with Hell in a Cell. We're definitely not gonna talk about the main event tonight, so we're just gonna not talk about it, or it's gonna piss people off, even though it still wasn't the smartest idea to kick off the whole cuck of Rusev and, you know, Bobby Lashley and Lana in his house and in his bed and everything. But it, like, nothing was really going on. It wasn't a lot going on. I'm surprised you even had 205 guys in matches against regular guys. I'm just surprised Aleister Black was even on TV just to be hiding back on the closet again until he could actually come out and just kick the Singh brothers' heads off, because he was just sitting in the boiler room with his dark suit on waiting for nothing pretty much. And what, War Raiders versus Ziggler and Rude, they get a title match next week because they beat them, okay? There you go. The Charlotte and Becky thing was at least a little bit interesting on Miz TV. I don't know where Asuka and Kyrie are going with this. Maybe they're heels since they're using more of the Miz nowadays with Asuka. I'm not really sure, but a lot of this show was just autopilot. It's almost like, just wait till the draft this Friday. We'll have something. So that's basically what Raw was. There was nothing really happening. It's almost like, it felt like this show was going on forever tonight. It almost felt like a marathon, because I'm like, how much time I got is in this show? Because it's gone quite a while now, and it feels like forever, because nothing actually was really going on. All right, it wasn't really nothing going on this show, and even if you missed it, you wouldn't have cared. Okay, you wouldn't have missed anything if you missed this show. Just go look up highlights and just be done from that, because it wasn't, unless you care about Tyson Fury and Strowman, go right ahead, or Velasquez, or the, go right ahead. But there wasn't really nothing much to talk about. Okay, it just honestly was not nothing to talk about this show. So that's basically what I can take from this. It just, nothing was going on. That's it. The show was just there. So, you know, other than that, I am done with this Monday Night Raw review, or whatever this was tonight. So, like I said, check out my Hell in a Cell review if you want to see that going on. We will be back for AEW and NXT this Wednesday. So, I'm sure, like my friend told me tonight, I can't wait till AEW this Wednesday. So, I'm sure he's waiting on that right now. Come on, even there's other rest of the shows tomorrow, we can look at it too. I think, what does AEW have a show on YouTube now called Dark? And I may check out that NWA thing tomorrow, Power, at 6:05 p.m. since they've been talking about that lately. I'm not really sure about that NWA, just to give a quick thing on that with Billy Corgan. I'm trying to give it a chance, but I don't know how much studio wrestling is going to move the needle, okay? But I will check it out to see what it's about, to see if it's good. I'm not sure with Billy Corgan and NWA all the way, but so what I've seen lately, we'll see what happens from that. But honestly, I'm just kind of waiting to get to Wednesday. Tonight, nothing really happened on Raw. It just, nothing. Like, literally nothing. You just, if you missed this show, you would have missed nothing. Okay? You would have missed nothing on this show. But other than that, I am done with this Monday Night Raw review. Comment, subscribe, see my past reviews. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890. And if you hated that little Trapped in the Closet little segment with Aleister Black, or whatever parody I tried to make up, fuck you. That's all I got to say about that. But, and you know, I'm not even going to get into that whole thing, because I can go back and forth all day and prove to you why, you know, a lot of that's bullshit. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But, like I said, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you thought about Raw. Or just any of this show, or try out Hell in a Cell review. Have a fun time watching that. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.